All right. We have, yeah. So yeah, live, I think. Okay. So what are we going to do today, right? We have this Meta AI API. Like this is not official API, but like a reverse engineered wrapper around Meta AI. So this is very basic, like just has chat based. So it has just text. You just give it a prompt, and it will just return out responses and some sources because it has access to tools here. Not just all the tools, but just only search tools here in this case. So with that, what we like to do is we will try to have so if you see let's call it Identic AI. They have this agentic workflows, right? Like we can create agents using the providers of Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, and so on. And those APIs, like Google Gemini APIs, have built-in tool calling functionality. So they leverage that in order to get this agentic workflow up and running. However, the Meta AI doesn't have that out of the box because it's not an official API, but it is free, right? So we can just, I'm not saying to like have it use it in bad sense, but just to have it demonstrate what can be built like with agentic workflows coming in. I'm not trying to get this in the commercial license, commercial tools or commercial products here because that is out of the way of getting this thing because it has its own licensing and so on. We don't want to do that. I just want to demonstrate that this could be a possibility where we can like I want to understand how tool calling actually works, and for that I want to understand how we can use this. We can like convert this raw text API into a functional tool calling API down the road if you wanted to use that as well. So this is one like inspiration why I want to build this because it will help me create a lot of like prototype applications, not production grade applications, but just to demonstrate that this is possible with AIs. And with for that I need to like we need to support tool calling here. It is not there out of the box, and the API itself is not what we call it is not compatible with other agentic models. Like if you leave alone the functional calling bit, it is not even able to parse the responses over here. If we just give it this API, we need to convert that into a specific format. So the so I've created one iteration of the simple version of it. Let me find where I have kept that. So I think it should be in sandbox vibing. Maybe not there. Agents. Yep, it looks here. Let's look at where I've kept the Pydantic AI thing. So I think I had written it meta AI model.py. Okay, no, this was not the one. I think it was meta agent. This was, I think, the example that we created. Then it should be where meta AI. This one is not the one I'm expecting here. Let's view my test. Might have kept it somewhere else. But where did I keep it? Yep, this was the one, I think. Or no. Let's try to run this at least. So what I'm demonstrating here is simple agents using Pydantic AI. So it will just take in an example where I think it was in, let's see if we can go here, and inside of agents we do see this where it is. There was a simple example where they gave it pretty neat answers. Maybe it was in models. No, models. Yeah, maybe it was in models. Let's see, it was in Olama. Yeah, this example. And you would see that I just changed the prompt a little bit. So if you go into a main.py, and the question was, where was Olympics held in 2024 instead of 2012? And it gave it correctly. So if I do, let's say 2016, and run this again, and it will just return out what if we have given it. So what I'm trying to say here, it is able to uh, like mm, take in the output structure that we want, and it is able to give that structured output. So if we went from like basic text into and structured output. So here we are saying city is in your country Brazil. That is what we gave it in the city location output, like output type for the city location, which has city and a country field in it. So it is giving it a JSON response with those types in as well. And I tried it on other complex examples too. It was working really well with those. So let me walk through what I have done here in order to make this work. This is very, like you might say, very not very efficient, but it does the work for me. So what we have done is there is a request, like request function that we expect the agentic workflow in agentic what do you call model, not the model, but the abstraction that Pydantic AI has created. It expects the model to have a request, like a request function attached to the class that we are returning. So it has its own set of uh, models or providers that they write, and they have this own like abstraction built on top of the models, existing models, to create the agentic sort of examples or Pydantic native field to the models. So in this case, we just initialized it with some steps that are required. This is not even required. I think we can comment it out. But for now, let's keep it as it is. It's not even doing much of the stuff. But what important thing it is doing is the tool output. But we are setting the type from the initialized value itself. So output type will be initialized here itself. And with that, when we send the request, we have this message list that will be like populated as we like have chats with the model itself. So that is one thing. And what we try to do is we call this prompt function that is available into the actual API itself, right? This abstraction that this person has created, which is a really nice thing to do. We can write it ourselves as well, but he has figured out what are the cookies and what are the flow that we require to get this up and running. But before we send the request, we need to augment the prompt, because it just will throw out a single message field with the text attribute. I think message has a single text field, text string in it. So we want to like prompt this in a certain way. So the prompt is the user prompt. So this whatever we have asked it to do, it will just return. It will just first see that and then respond only with a valid JSON object and nothing else, because the output type needs to be deconstructed from that JSON into an Pydantic class, so that we have a better overlapping from the output as well as from the input. JSON must be correct type for each field, like whatever we have provided. Here are the required JSON schema, example JSON instruction. Now what is this example JSON string? It is a JSON dump from output model and JSON schema. This is directly using the Pydantic class in order to convert the schema. So if we search about model JSON schema, this is a Pydantic way of like converting an Python type, I think, into like a structured JSONable dicta, you can say that, into way of representing what the type actually means. So if you see here, foo bar as a field of count with integer size union of either it could be a float or none, or it could be empty. which is to say that this is what it means. So if you see the foo bar, it has properties of count, title is count, and the type is integer. The size is, it can be either a number or it can be null, so it is optional type of either of these values. And these are like the basic thing that we have for count, right? So title is, sorry, the foo bar output type, title was object, and this is that. So that is what this will do. This is really helpful for providing the model the context that we want the output in this format, and then we return the prompt. If there is no like output model specified, then we just return it in a singular JSON field with the answer object in it, so that we can later on deconstruct that in a generic format. Right, once we augment the prompt, we send the request and then we load the messages, right? Then for the properties, like this will be a single object output type we return, right? So for those object will have properties, so we deconstruct those properties from the key and the value from it. So this will be a recursive way to construct that, and then get the schema out and validate if it is like it is a correct structure provided from the LLM. And yeah, then once we have the output, we just append it to the model response. Right, here we are appending the tool context, the text part, right? And yeah, that is how we send that back and forth from the source. So that is one thing. Now this was only for agentic basic agentic chat applications. However, if you want to have this tool calling thing, let me show you where where we want to head it towards. So function tools, right? Now this like models like Gemini, Anthropic, OpenAI, they have this tool calling functionality built in into their APIs. However, this Meta API is not available because it's like user facing application actually. So if you go to Meta AI, this is the actual interface that is being used in that context. So it makes sense that we don't have the function calling enabled by default. So now we want to construct that kind of functionality here. Right, so what is the approach here? So if you see this example, we have this agent initialized. So what we have said here is here's the model, actual model. If I'm not sure what it is, but system prompt is you are a dice game. You are a dice game. You should roll die, receive the number, you get back matches the user guess. If so, tell them they are the winner. Use the player's name in the response. So this is a very specific example, I would say. And the like agent dot run sync. So we created this and run sync. Run sync, like there will be a async version of it. That's why it is run sync. So my guess is 4. So the player sees that my guess is 4. You roll a die and show me what, like, did I win or did I win or did I lost the game. So if what the agent here has to do is like to run the tool to roll the die and to like get the player's name, which is depths in this case, like dependencies we can say. I'm not sure if it's dependencies, but it should be dependencies. And then like construct this response that congratulations Annie, you guessed correctly, you are a winner. So behind the scenes, what would happen here? We have provided this, right? So it's system prompt and user prompt, and the model response is first it calls the tool which is roll die, that is initialized here. So what this does is in the agent we attach this tool, a plain tool that will just do the thing that is supposed to do, which is take in nothing, no arguments, and just return a random integer between 1 and 6. This could be a complicated example, but let's stick to the example. And it calls the, it doesn't call the tool, it says that we need to run this tool first. It, like, we can do that in this case because the example is very simple, just to generate a random number between 1 and 6. But let's say there was a little 200 lines of code that we wanted to run here. In that case, LLM won't be able to, it would be able to do it, but let's say we don't want to do that, we want to run the code and not get the LLM running that code for us. So in that case, we will say that, so the model will say that we need to run this tool, and what it will do is it will give us the tool name that to run and the parameters that we want to run, and then it is on us to run that function. So the tool is basically a function, and we now know which function to call, what are the parameters to it, and we get the output back. So it is tool return, it is a tool call. So there is a difference. We expect LLM to take the decision for us, and we run the tool and get the output, and then pass this context to the next call. So it will be a, yeah, this is, again, I'm taking inspiration from other articles here, so you will see AMP code, yeah, this one, this is a really brilliant article. It is basically, I mean, it really mentioned somewhere it is a for loop, or maybe say while loop. Yeah, there is an, it's LLM, a loop, and enough tokens. So what I'm trying to say here is that like agents are basically running in loops, taking the input from other rest of the parts and output from the next parts to get the next state. So it's just on loop. So once we have this output from roll diet, which is 4, we now, like, LLM decides what to do next, so get clear name. So since that was not explicitly set in the input prompt, we have to, like, let's say that, like, this context was taken later on. In that case, let's say there were 3 tools calls, and the name was set in the second function call, which doesn't exist right now, but imagine that was the case. Then this dependencies would be injected in the third, in the second tool call, and then in the later stages where the LLM, the agent, is trying to get the player name, it will set that to get the player name, and they will run the tool call and will get the player name, right? And so the last part is on the LLM to generate the token and generate the response. If so, now it knows that the actual uh, result of the rolling a die was 4, and the user's prompt was also 4, so his guess was 4. So yes, so LLM agent understands that it is correct according to the system prompt, because that's what we have instructed to do, right? If the number matches the user, if so, tell me they are the winner. Use the player's name in the response, right? So that is that. Now that is what we want to do next. How to do that? That's the thing that we want to figure out. It will be pretty simple, I suspect, but there are a lot of moving parts in the API, so let's see how to get that up and running. So I want to like dive into the code of Pydantic in this case because we don't want to do this specifically to Pydantic because there are other tools like LangGraph which are also doing the same thing, but now I can't write all of the wrappers for like all of them. I can just write one API for them and then others should work. So that is my approach. Um, I think they are not writing the what we call um, abstractions, right? Are they? I hope not. It's too bright. Um, Learn the basics. So I think there was one case where they, I think, actually are doing that, or are they not? Maybe not. Anyways, so what I would do is I wanted to first see. Actually, let's clone it here itself. So Pydantic AI is the actual model that we use. So we'll go into Pydantic AI and let's see. Talks example MCP run pattern. Now this looks like it, and in the models, let's look at Gemini. Maybe not OpenAI because OpenAI I think will be a little cluttered. Oh my god, that's so many models. Yeah, one just disappeared somehow. So Gemini model, right? What it takes in? It takes in the, what are these? Model name. Okay. Provider. Okay, that makes sense. These are the only things that it takes for initializing the model and the base URL. Okay, okay. So this is what I was talking about. It requires a request function attached to this, and I'm wondering what actually is get tools being used. So tools is used here. So let's see if where is this first referenced here. So it doesn't take this inside of the actual request or the initialization of those. Model request parameter. So model request parameter is something that we need to look at. Okay, so model request parameters is something that takes in function tools, customize tool definition. Oh, what is that? Okay, so I spent the last weekend doing this using Windsurf, but it failed badly. Like it was doing good, but not well. It at some point did it correct, not correctly, but it uh, made it work. But nah, that was not the code that I was expecting there. So I need to do it somewhat myself. First, the initial thinking, and then leave it to LLMs. So for this, we need to take in the model request parameters, which will take in function tools. Now, how are we defining this thing here in the first place? So tool in model request parameters dot function tools. Let's go deeper into model request parameters. So tool definition. This is native to Pydantic AI. We require the name, the description, parameters, JSON schema. Okay. This I need to dive in a little. Oh, okay. Type representing JSON schema of an object. Example where type object. I think we already have this. Let me confirm this with yeah, main.go. And here we are. Somewhere we are doing that conversion, right? This one. And here we are using this model JSON schema. So I suspect model JSON schema is same as object JSON schema, correct? Maybe I should be using Windsurf. Yeah. Let's open a new window. This is the right folder, correct? No. Agents. So what I was asking here is we are in weird places now. What? Use GPT-411, that is pretty good. So we were looking at where? Yeah, model request parameters, then function tools, tool definition. object JSON schema. So let's how do you yeah, so is this the same as mm, let's go here. If it says, then I think it is the same thing. So we should be in a good position there. So tool definition, object JSON schema, this is what we are trying to get out from there. So this will give us the type for the parameters, and outer type dictionary, the key, the other outer, and get what they are trying to say here. Outer typed dictionary key. Actually, you know what? We should be just worrying about how it is making the tool call, make request. It gets the tools, tool config. That is all done natively to the Pydantic, so we don't have to do that. We want to, uh, get what we call. We want to actually build the function calling expect of it, not the other way around. So message to Gemini content. What is this doing? I'm not sure, but it gets something from there. Request data, Gemini request context. If config, okay, it sets all of these values, headers, and then streams this thing. So now process the response. So let's see what is the Gemini response. List of candidates, content, role and parts, Gemini part, union. Man, how nested that is. Okay. So here we append the part, and what I'm doing. Yeah, so what is this doing is tool call ID, function name and arguments. So let's see where this is getting called. Okay, enough of rambling. Let's um, let's actually clone this. right? So it so I know what I wanted to do, but I'm too lazy to be doing that. And even I don't know how about the context of this. So that is valid use case for AI. And I want to explore the tool calling like I think it was Anthropic who did it, right? Tool use. There was an article, I think. Tool use functionality. Okay, it has started to edit main.py. Let's look at here. Let's close this. Okay, so it has made the changes. So it now takes in the tool, which is a list, which will be none by default. Sends a message and optionally tool selection and calling. If tools, then tool description, join tool, name description for tool in tools. You have an access to the following tools. Select only appropriate or requested. Message another tool called or description user query message. Um, I don't think that is a correct way because we also need the tool name, the description, and the parameters, right? Yeah. Oh, maybe let's give it this. Do it as per the prompts and specifications of function. So what do we have? Name, description, and input schema. Hope it can read that, right? Yeah, it can read that. But really, can it do that? Oh, that was quick. That was really quick. But in the output, it's not doing that, right? Is it? Okay, message to. Okay, it has already added in the message. Okay. Input schema, no parameters. You may use the tools where it was. Formatting instructions, string and I mean that's okay, I believe. Tool configuration should be at tool configuration. I'm okay with it. So how do we test this now? Let's do one thing. Let's see. Mm-hmm. So it can provide a tool, let's say def add I also want a doc string here. Okay, and let's provide it the tools add Okay, that was quick. So instead of this, let's ask what is the subtraction of 34,000, and so it should be a negative number, right? Run the Python source meta AI API slash main.py. Let's see if it can understand that context. Okay, it is doing it for me, which is pretty good. And it should run this again. Yep. This is Agentic ID, guys. Awesome stuff. Yeah, more dependency issues. Meta AI API. Oh, okay. Wait, what? There should be things like this, I believe. Function tools.py. What? I add a function tools. Okay, this will be make it like what is that? Why I keep forgetting that? Wow, it corrects it automatically when there's a indentation there. That's pretty good. Okay, let's see. How does it know that now? Okay, this looks correct now. So now this should be good to go. Let's see if that works out. Hmm. Um, no, I don't want to do this not, yeah, we can do this here, but I don't want to be move this into the prompt function just before calling the API. Okay, it's not able to get it. So wait, what? So where are we doing the function call? Yeah, if tools so this will be tool callable. That should be it. Let's save it. It's lagging a little. Let me close. At this point, yep. Okay, we got something. At this point, I'm afraid what was the expected output. So expected output was tool instruction. Sorry, not tool instruction. So message. What? I closed that. So let's define what was the prompt in the I think that looks good. Um, Actually, it may be worth a while to Okay, I need to dive a little more into this uh, Pydantic AI. Where is this? Um, well. Yeah, tool definition. We are in Gemini. No, let's go a little. Yeah, here. Model request parameters, function tools. So I wonder what it gets back to us. Um, customize tool. Oh my goodness. Make request. If tools, set the tools, then stream the response. Where is the process? Yeah, we have the name and arguments. Where is this provided even? Yeah, now it got that. Type tool use. Tool choice. Tool use, okay. Um, I accept that change, but okay, it will have given that change there. So let's see what the response gives back. Do you leave it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or is it weird? Okay, let's do one thing. Let's see if okay. Let's do a def divide. A as integer, B as optional integer. Okay, and what is the division of 21 by 7? The famous one. Let's see if it's able to handle that. 21 by 0, let's say. Optional is not defined. Yeah. Yeah, it is suggesting me that, but I'm too far from that. Okay, at least it didn't error out. Okay, is giving me right values. Looks like it. Let's say yeah, I think that is good one. But it is a string, you know. So I'm wondering what happens if you can see here we are passing in the args, which is a dictionary of string, so the name, and it could be the any value. So where are we using the args in here? Force it to the type which is from the uh, type of parameter in the input schema. Like it should ideally return the type of that value. So if it is an option value, then it should enforce the type checking pretty nastily there. So editing this thing. Uh, why the editing function tools, by the way? Okay, it's adding a new function to get that for an output schema. I believe, yeah. Past inputs to schema type. Uh, okay, that is okay. Let's run this again. Let's take a little more complex example. Get today's date. or maybe get yesterday state. If it's 1st April today, what was the day yesterday? It takes 12 seconds to respond. Okay, 12, 9. Okay, it will use. That did it pretty well. I'm impressed. So I gave it 1st April 2025 and it's able to actually read that this format and provide the format which we require here. Pretty dope. Pretty dope. We're not testing the functionality by the way, we're just asking it to decide what to call and give the input context in that case. So this is I think good enough. Mm, however, we need to check what are we actually doing in this function call in Gemini part. So, actually, let's go into Anthropic because for tool calling we have used that as a reference, right? Not the best thing to do, but anyways. Tool calling. Like, how does it know what to call? Okay, so here we will be passing in that anyways, okay? So instance item tool use block. Tool use block, okay. Where it is imported from Anthropic.types. Oh dear. Oh dear. We want what? We want what? Client SDKs, Python, TypeScript. Oh my god, that is pathetic. Okay. How to use work? Like I want to see the output of it, man. Come on. Role assistant. This given the prompt, what's the weather right now and what time it is there. Claude might respond with this. Yeah, this is what we asked it to do. I think we're on the right track then. We don't need to refer this anymore. At least I think. And okay. So this is working fine. And now if we try to remove this set of tools here, you will run this, you will get a simple text response, I believe. So we'll not interfere with any of those values. And within this, yeah, this is just a simple text response, so that is correct. Okay, so this is the change that we did. That is simple change, to be honest. And now we need to write the wrapper for agentic AIs. I mean agentic whatever that is. Agent related frameworks and libraries. So since it is done, what we can do now, yeah, still live, right? I see you tomorrow. I need